Hi, everybody, and happy International Women's Day. I'm a bit late to the party because I have been attending a Women in Publishing Summit, which has been fantastic. It's so heartening to be in a community of women that are all dedicated to getting their voices out in the world in all genres. And I want to speak to that because um, the feminine is multidimensional, and that's something I highlighted in my first book, The Inner Goddess Makeover, which maps the different faces of the feminine, which together comprise the feminine half of our psyche, because the psyche means soul, and the soul is feminine and masculine, so it's comprised of both. But the feminine archetype, the aspect that we hear the most from, the one whose voice is heard the most in the global conversation, is Athena. And she is the one who governs the solar plexus. This is the lower mind, the rational mind, the 10% mind. And she gets the most airplay. And a lot of the sort of content, I suppose, that we hear on International Women's Day is very much her voice. Yeah, this is the voice of um, fighting to be recognized as equal to men. Okay, so it's associated with women's rights, political rights, equal pay, you know, reproductive rights. Not to say that these rights are not important, but that is an uphill battle, and it's not the intelligent way to create balance of feminine and masculine. And that's why, you know, 50 years after the women's lib marches, we we don't see true equality because it's not going to happen through political means. That's the masculine approach. And this aspect, Athena, who is the rational part of the feminine, she is the most masculine. So it's an irony that the women that we hear the most from are those who are masculine dominant, those who are fighting to be recognized, fighting for our rights. And, you know, if we're fighting, we are adding to the drama. We are escalating polarization and conflict. Like the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So, what's the answer? Well, I think for there to be true balance, the aspect we most need to hear from is the one who's been silenced the most, and that's the mystic. She is the one who governs the third eye. This is the energy center that is the counterpoint to the rational. So the rational um, is yellow, okay, the solar plexus. So often those who are drawn to wearing a lot of yellow or love the color yellow, very rationally dominant. Those who wear the color purple, okay, are often they're mystics. Their inner mystic is more dominant. That is their intuition. In fact, all of their unseen gifts or mystic gifts, which is clairvoyance, clairsentience, so inner seeing, inner sensing, intuition, which is inner knowing, precognition, which is being able to sense the trends, sense the future, clairaudience, clear inner hearing. So these are all phenomena that the rational mind can't even perceive. Okay, this is why exoteric science dismisses them. But for us to see the whole picture, we need esoteric science to complement exoteric science. We need the higher mind to contribute to the global conversation. So, how do we achieve true equality? How do we ensure that women's rights are honoured and valued? Well, the true power of the feminine is within. The way that we awaken this power is aligning with the cycles of nature and the cosmos which govern us, on the understanding they're the only thing that has any true power over us. And they initiate us to become wise. So the more we bow to the wisdom of the cycles, the more we gather at new moon to go deep, to process our bitter lessons and transmute them into wisdom, the more we gather at powerful times such as the coming eclipse on March 13, 14, the more we accelerate our power like a centrifugal force. If we think about when is nature at its most powerful, it's when it's cycling, okay? It's spiraling, such as a cyclone. And my blessings to those of you that are currently in the cyclone in the Byron Bay Shire, my old home, have been without power for 2 days. Nature is powerful. We are powerful. But we give our power away to the system when we beg to be recognized, when we demand, like a child or a teenager, to get our needs met. The power is within us. And if we align with the cycles, we will step more and more into our sovereign power, embodying our true power. And then, because we live in a holographic universe, we will see the reality mirror who we have become. Like Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. That's the true power of the feminine. And that is the voice of the mystic. Like the parable, The Rainmaker, the story of this shaman who was called in during a time of drought. And he didn't do a rain dance. He didn't beg and petition and existential force outside of himself to fix things. Because that's not prayer. That's bargaining. Instead, he went into a hut for 4 days. And on the 5th day it rained. And the villagers said, "What did you do? What did you do in that hut?" And he said, "Well, I meditated on the 4 directions, the 4 elements within myself, on the understanding that when things are out of balance in the macrocosm, all I have power over is me. So if I bring myself into harmonic balance through honoring the elements, the creative elements that are what make up the earth and what make up me, then I can transform the outer world through inner alchemy." This is the Grail. The Grail is the wisdom of the mystic feminine. It teaches us how to live in alignment with the cycles, how to be socially sustainable. If you want to know more about that, check out my last book, The Grail. And all of my books are initiations to reclaim our sacred sovereign power, to embody that, so that every choice we make has a ripple out effect that is positive in the world, regardless of whether it's March 8 or any other day of the calendar year. And if you'd like to join with me during an incredible power window, a total lunar eclipse, a blood moon. Yeah, this is a time when the sun and the moon, come together. This is a powerful time for us to exercise the power of the mystic, to come together for the collective good and for ourselves as alchemists, not activists. So I'll put the link in below. And this one is for the sisters, because those of us born with a womb cycle monthly with the lunar phases. We are more impacted, more influenced by the moon. For the brothers, they, as souls coming in, choosing a masculine form, are aligning more with the solar cycle. And this is what empowers them. So this gathering is for the women, and I invite you to join me. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to share this. I'll put the details below.